It is my pleasure to have you visit my channel. Give the video a pre-start by hitting the subscribe button. Dominik Mysterio betrayed Rhea Ripley at last weekend's WWE SummerSlam. For the first time, the Eradicator, the women's global title matchup versus, watching from the ringside, Liv Morgan and Dirty D, compete with the previous North American winner. The honor for Morgan kissed the 30-year-old following. Both Damian and the Priest were abandoned by his group and vanquished by J.D. McDonagh during last Monday's singles match. Late at night, the revised Judgment, the Archer of Notoriety, was leaped by day following the game. However, a save by Rhea Ripley prevented defeat. The following are 5 items. Hey there, Rhea Ripley. Essential for this week's WWE Raw Rhea. It is imperative that Ripley face Dominik Mysterio on. One of the new faces on WWE Raw is Dominik Mysterio. The men who were most hated by their co-workers following his treachery to Rhea Ripley at WWE. Kenny Bolin, a wrestler with experience at SummerSlam, proposed that the man in his 20s might stay out of the spotlight forever after what he did during the most important live event. It is imperative that Rhea Ripley face participant from Judgment Day on this week's WWE Raw. To find out, the plot has the ability to evolve into why it's much more intriguing for fans to know. Ultimately, Mysterio chose to abandon Ripley as the world champion for ladies. A quartet. A question for Adam Pearce from the Eradicator. Regarding the rematch, Adam Pearce is appointed as the WWE Raw's general manager and possesses power to schedule a rematch with Ripleys. The realm of women's affairs. Final round. Previously Judgment Day member would benefit greatly from having meet again, with Morgan emerging victorious by striking her with a mix of disorientation and steel seat, while Mysterio diverted attention to Adam could be approached by referee Ripley. Next night's show with Pearce seek a second opportunity in the women's world. The match could be booked by Championship Pearce. That party in Berlin on the 31st of August, or notify Ripley that she will be required to merit it through achieving success on. The ex-champion may be able to turn down JUSO's offer. Thanks to JUSO, it been made aware of his interest in Rhea. Recently, Ripley extended an offer to pick her up. He made a mental note to bring her to Waffle Houses, was do more than the Mysterian Dom, and move at a leisurely pace while they were together. Perhaps Ripley is prepared to proceed when her ex-boyfriend betrayed her possible roommate and the big showtime. On tomorrow's Raw, Jay has an offer that could result in Mysterio experiencing jealousy, generating problems for his plot. Relationship between Ripley and Liv Morgan should lead to problems in the upcoming. On the Day of Judgment, Liv Morgan promised to all of Rhea Ripley's work and quite fruitful thus far upon being compelled so as to give up the Women's World Championship after suffering an injury earlier this year, leading to Morgan's current position as Mysterio has also been taken by champion Morgan, ended in alienating Ripley and her faction. Morgan can finally be avenged upon by Riley through initiating conflict within the updated account of the Day of Judgment may propagate gossip regarding the organization, hidden animosity, and absurd. They collapse due of the lack of a genuine leader. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest are obligated to enlist additional WWE superstars to fight against. Final day of Raw, Rhea Ripley's Judgment End. Last week's Damian Priest stood triumphantly atop. In this week's WWE Raw, the infamous Archer triumphed over J.D. McDonagh in a singles match. Due date for Judgment, however, assaulted subsequent to the bell-ringing Ripley sent the heel side fleeing, but the Terror Twin Priest and Ripley made a strong duo. Yet additional celebrities will be required to join for them to compete with the emerging Ripley's interpretation of the Day of Judgment and had the opportunity to reconcile with individuals who have done wrong when they were join the group and get additional individuals to participate with them in a bid to defeated the evil gang on Raw. Rhea Ripley terror lurks around every corner. overview of her time in WWE following lately turbulent judgment events. On this day, Ripley must act decisively to establish herself as a leading voice in this week's dominant forces on WWE Raw, that is, requirements to carry out a set of strategic options that will boost her position while also shaking the very core of the red brand. I have 5 items to Rhea. In the first week of WWE Raw, Ripley must insist on a significant title chance with Mysterio stars Adam Pearce. Hey there, Rhea Ripley has been having a phenomenal run in WWE, and this is the moment for her to declare her authority at the most elite level. Her initial make a significant request this week gave Adam Pearce, an official with WWE, an opportunity to unprocessed women's championship, a driving factor in Ripley's compete for the championship. However, brought her to the forefront where she is not appropriate for the request. Modest person Ripley must give no room for doubt. Her candidacy is the most merited. She might walk scotch-free into Pearce's office, insisting on a matchup against them now crowned champion. Her presence ought to convince Pearce to think about the request, provided that Ripley does not omit any. The match's legitimacy is, without a doubt, a strict, no-nonsense strategy, supported by the danger of her releasing disarray on Raw if her request isn't fulfilled, would convey a message that goes beyond penetrating, but to all of WWE's performers too. Dispute with Dominik Mysterio regarding their reports of betrayal. There is an asterisk. Rumors circulating behind the scenes that Dominik Mysterio may be thinking about a treachery involving the youthful Rhea Ripley, Spectre, who has been working for Ripleys. It for a while, you could start to feel overshadowed and maybe hatching a scheme to this week emerge from her shadow. Ripley must address Dominic head-on, however. Dispute should not consist solely of an angry dispute centered on the ring, must involve a high-stakes public showdown. Dominic might face criticism from Ripley in the call, requesting a justification for the latest actions and speculation. All throughout town, she must prompt him to her selfless acts towards him. And does loyalty involve the conflict between their presence with the WWE should be noticeable. All of space and time riding on each syllable, whether as a result of peer pressure or stands firm in her position at this very moment. The nature of their future partnership or enemy number 3, find a new ally to reinforce her stance! Asterisk note, due of the potential fracture with the Mysterian Dom, who should Rhea Ripley see? Should find new friends to help her out. Impact both on the Day of Judgment and the Raw. Ripley brand has long been a hit in the disarray inherent in social dynamics. Yet this now is the moment to hire someone who could, as a disciplinarian, or alternatively as a joker, who can keep an eye on her when things start to difficult week for Raw. Ripley, get in touch with a budding celebrity who has neglected despite having unrealized potential. The new ally's capacity to a person who can enhance Ripley's tough approach while simultaneously offering innovative dynamic to the Day of Judgment. Hiring should not involve simple coaltion when Ripley conduct an evaluation of the candidate for the position, demonstrating their worthiness of being by her side through acts of devotion or power. This action would not only strengthen, in addition to Ripley's influence, fascinating new member to join the Raw roster. 4. A public alert is issued to the unprocessed membership roster. Hey there, Rhea Ripley flourishes when confronted with fear, and this week she must jog her memory of the complete Raw summary of the reasons why she's the worst. Winning the championship match against Adam Pearce, facing off against Dominik Mysterio, seeking out a new ally that Ripley ought to adopt to the arena to deliver a rallying cry for everyone who dared to obstruct her path. This scene must be dramatic, involving Ripley outlining the rules for what's to follow. She could emphasize her recent triumph. She mentioned certain wrestlers by name, believes that someone has treated her disrespectfully or presented a threat. Potential danger. A clear warning is necessary. Anyone dares to challenge her will confronted with outrage. destruction. This extends beyond displaying her might. It's all about creating an environment where people are afraid. Admiration for her personality, Ripley must depart the WWE ring with an incontestable feeling that unprocessed is hers. 5 people set up shop in, concluding an exclamation point, at least one asterisk. As the play comes to a close, Ripley must forcefully claiming her authority, whether in a sporting event or SmackDown after the game. If Ripley wants to, she represents the final representation of WWE. Before going off the grid, the universe views Raw assassinate the champion in an unexpected move, violent attack against an adversary, or even stunning display of strength in the face of a number of rivals would dispatch phrase that Ripley has, assuming Ripley maintains his composure. The centerpiece, she will undoubtedly depart, that she poses the greatest threat to her rivals. Raw, this tangible display is paramount as she further establishes her position at the top, laying the groundwork for subsequent, the latter stretch of her professional journey. Rhea, the road to Ripley's domination.